Yes, Jean-Philippe Loiselle and Vincent Guta from Remax. Team Loiselle on fire this weekend. Um, Hitting this Monday. We had a big weekend, several visits on our properties, and what a beautiful day. We're back from the 11th of May. We're seeing buyers actively messaging us. There's visit requests on properties. So, Jean-Philippe,
Yes, thank you very much, Vince. And we had a lot of people calling. It's as if it came through the blood of everybody. Like it was beautiful outside. People had to go out. People had to visit properties. This was a bit special because we didn't see that since probably the last since beginning of March to have so many people in front of a house ready to visit. So Vince, tell me a little bit more. Like how many visitors did we have Saturday and Sunday? Because we had lots of visits. So how did it work?
so how it started was we have an executive assistant that takes in the calls from for our listings. It starts with Isabel, and she structures both days. We had visits on Saturday and visits on Sunday from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And these visits, it's not an open house. It wasn't an open house, and people need to schedule 15-minute visits between every visit. So there's a lot of structure that needs to be around that. There's a lot of administration that needs to be around that. And everybody coming to the property needs to sign a document saying that they didn't travel in the last 14 days, that they're not sick, and they need to wear a mask when visiting. And some people also wear gloves when visiting. Everybody needs to enter the place with a mask or a visor, and some people had gloves. Um, so with that being said, Jean-Philippe, we had a rock and roll Saturday and Sunday. Over, I think we're at like 16 visits on a property. We're going to be getting
How many
several offers.
did you say? How many visits?
We're over 16 visits. I need to recheck, but there was some last visits that happened on Saturday. Sorry, on yeah, on Sunday, and that's it. So 16 visits, prime location, near all the services, and a lot of people were in good spirit. Thanks to our clients, thanks to the tenants that opened up, and we did the best we can. At the end of the day, we got to do the best we can, and people need to find a property. They want to continue on. They're pre-qualified, and if they don't go into this wave, the reality is in 2021, prices will be more expensive. I do not see, Jean-Philippe, that the prices there's going to be a massive drop. I think it's we're stabilizing, and it's going to go up slowly, slowly. What do you think about that, Jean-Philippe?
Yeah, I think if the interaction of the buyers and the mindset of the buyers is still to buy a property, because I think people has to understand that real estate, first of all, it's a primary need. It's a need to have a roof over our head. And it's a need to have a place that we feel safe, that we feel close to the job maybe, or to activities, or to roads, or things like that. So I think it's the concept to be close to other things is still apply right now, even though the COVID might change a little bit, because location, location, location. Does location still apply in 2020? I think it's going to apply in 2080 as well, 2050, 2080. But at some point, it might change a bit. For example, maybe there's going to be less people that's going to need to go back to the office. Maybe some job will be done from home. It's possible. But they will still have to go maybe to the office a few times a week. According to that, from the interaction we saw yesterday, 16 plus visits, buyers ready to buy, blocks of visits, 15 minutes for a buyer, next 15 minutes another buyer. Buyers had to be there in advance. If they wanted to enter the place, they had to sign a document, the COVID document from the OAICIQ, to make sure that they didn't travel, that they don't have any symptoms, that they're okay to visit the place. They had to wear a mask. Safety first for everybody. I want to make sure everybody understand that with Team Loiselle, it's safety first. Yes, we want to do business. Yes, we want to help the most amount of people. We're there beside you. We're there with you to travel and get the best result for your purchase or to sell your house, but in a safety first. So 16 plus visits. And how many offers are you expecting, Vince?
Good question. We're gonna see how the day goes today, but we're gonna be receiving, I would say, over 4 or 5 offers on that property. The way it's positioned, the way the publicity, proactive approach was put in place, and the views that we're getting on the back end, I can see exactly where the visits are coming from, which city they're coming from, and we're hitting in the thousands, Jean-Philippe. So I think that we're in this situation, and we're going to be getting over five offers on this property.
Mm-hmm. And at the time that you speak about marketing, you said like we did proactive approach. What does that mean? Because a proactive approach is just a word, and for a lot of people, they have listened to it in a different manner, and proactive approach can mean different stuff to different people. So to you, what does that mean, proactive approach? Because you said there's over 1,000 views. What does that mean? How many views in normal?
Well, there's certain systems we have in place, Jean-Philippe, to just tell our listeners of different social media platforms that we're on, and the way we target certain buyers to come towards our listings, and we could just know where they're coming from. We know if they're coming from the South Shore, we know if they're coming from Laval, and we know if they're coming from the area. So with that being said, and we also know if they're coming from out of town. So there was people that came to the open house that were from out of town, and they want to buy into this location. They were investing in really prime locations in the last couple of years in Montreal, and they now realize that it's still affordable still in these pockets. And if I really look at the comparables in the last 5 years in this area near metros, there's not a lot selling. So there's a lot less inventory, and if not, people will just be going on the outskirts. With that being said, Jean-Philippe, what I like to share to all our listeners is that there was a property that was on the market last week, and I put an offer on a property with clients. Okay, there was around 10 visits on this property, and I ended up presenting the offer in person to the sellers. There's two ways to do this. Okay, there's a way to receive the offers, and there's a way to present the offers. Now, I asked what would be the best, what would the sellers like, and they didn't mind. So for me to win, and for me to be proactive and to go and get in my car and drive to the property and make sure I closed, I went to present the offer. I stayed 30 minutes. I had my visor, I had my gloves, and I put everything in front of me to meet the clients. They were really super happy that we got to meet. We had to make sure that the offer would work for all parties, and everybody understands during this time that it's very serious to make sure that the offer concludes. C'est beau pour visiter une propriété, mais si on fait juste un offre puis on envoie juste l'offre d'achat avec aucune explication sur une feuille, ça vaut rien. D'abord, il faut juste avoir une explication. C'est qui les clients? Est-ce qu'ils sont plus qualifiés? Est-ce qu'ils ont l'argent dans le compte de banque? Est-ce que les documents sont tous signés? Parce que maintenant, les affaires, les choses sont changées aujourd'hui. Puis il faut être proactif dans cet effet-là, même quand il y a les offres à présenter. D'abord, sur ça, Jean-Philippe, est-ce que tu aimerais partager quelque chose avec nous?
Mais je pense que tu apportes un excellent point, Vincent, le fait d'être préqualifié, d'être prêt à faire une offre d'achat, de faire une offre d'achat qui est dans l'objectif de s'entendre. Je pense pas qu'on est dans un mode où est-ce qu'il y a ce qu'on appelle des fois des low balls ou des offres qui fonctionnent pas. On est dans un mode où est-ce que c'est la sécurité en premier. Puis si vous faites une offre d'achat, faisons en sorte qu'on ne perd pas le temps du vendeur puis qu'on ne perd pas le temps de l'acheteur, qu'on aille vraiment dans une direction où est-ce qu'on peut s'entendre. L'objectif, c'est de trouver une façon de s'entendre, peu importe de quelle façon. Dans certains cas, ben oui, effectivement, il va y avoir de la négociation dans cette partie de l'année-là, mais il reste qu'il faut s'attendre à ça, puis il faut bien préparer l'acheteur et le vendeur dans la direction qu'on va entreprendre ensemble pour qu'on puisse trouver finalement une entente entre les deux parties. Des fois, c'est pas facile, mais effectivement, comme tu l'as fait, Vincent, de se déplacer sur place, d'aller sur place, présenter ton offre d'achat, encore une fois, de manière sécuritaire, mais je pense que c'est la bonne démarche à prendre, de trouver une façon qui va être productive, qui va te permettre vraiment de trouver un terrain d'entente et non pas qu'il y ait une partie de ping-pong. On n'est pas dans un marché de partie de ping-pong. On est dans un marché où est-ce que trouvons une façon de s'entendre le plus rapidement possible. Les acheteurs sont impatients, les vendeurs sont impatients ou stressés. Il faut trouver une façon de s'entendre. Arrêtez les ping-pong, là. Ouais, je monte de 2000, l'autre baisse de 2000. Regarde. Trouvons un point, puis trouvons une façon de s'entendre aujourd'hui. Pas dans 5 jours, pas dans 10 jours. Je vous le dis tout de suite, c'est la bonne méthode à prendre, c'est d'aller vers l'objectif voulu dès le départ, puis trouver une façon de conclure. Ceci étant dit, Vincent, je ne veux pas qu'on s'éternise. Je pense qu'on a passé le message. Il y avait Vincent Vanvite de chez Remax avec l'équipe Loiselle, avec moi-même. Moi puis Vincent, on va être avec vous encore tous les prochains jours. C'est pas parce qu'on est en vacances aujourd'hui. En fait, on est au bureau, pour vous dire vrai. On est là pour vous servir, pour obtenir le meilleur prix. Que ce soit pour vous comme étant vendeur ou vous comme acheteur, il y a toujours moyen de tirer l'épingle du jeu, de permettre à nos clients de sortir gagnants. Ouais, Vincent, tu nous montres ton eau, ta bouteille d'eau.
Il faut prendre beaucoup d'eau. Ça commence à être chaud à l'extérieur. Il faut 70% of our body is made, over 70% is made out of water. Put the good alkaline water in your system. I'll tell you, the energy will change, your mindset will change, your physiology will change, and you're going to be going one step further to having better skin. I could see a difference on my skin also, and just to make you more just energetic. So to that, merci beaucoup Jean-Philippe. On a un gros journée en procédure maintenant avec nos clients. Les comptes rendus commencent à rentrer pour les 16 visites, puis on continue pour servir nos clients dans le meilleur proactif approche qui suit dans les prochains listings. Merci tout le monde. À demain. Yes. Say yes. Yes.
Yes.